Today, we're taking on two big challengers and a very common question. Manual mode or auto mode? Let's get it on. Will Simpson here, and welcome to Exploring Photography. Today, we're discussing the difference between manual mode and auto mode and which one you should use. But first, we need to meet our contenders and a little bit about them. In this corner, we have auto, Old Faithful mode. This mode tells the camera to adjust all the settings, whether in dark or light, and it doesn't give you a choice on the quality you want to set. It was nicknamed Old Faithful because, well, it works for basic photography and, well, I just gave it that name. The Challenger, manual down and dirty mode. This camera mode gives you, the shooter, full control of your image. If you want crispy bokeh, you can have it. If you want long exposure, you can have it. If you want a grainy image, well, you can have it. This camera mode gives you what you want. It was nicknamed down and dirty because if you want to use this mode to its full potential, well, you're gonna have to get real personal with it. Now that you have met the challengers, let's start the showdown. Auto mode comes in swinging. With it, you can point and shoot and get a properly exposed photo. You can then go inside and without changing a thing, get another properly exposed photo. However, let's say you wanted some bokeh on your subject, but your camera thought you needed a little less light. Well, too bad for you. Your f-stop is too high to get that bokeh. But you got a properly exposed photo. Manual comes in for the same photo, cranks that f-stop down to get that crispy bokeh, adjusts the shutter and the ISO for a properly exposed photo, and poof! Great bokeh and perfectly exposed. Uh-oh, manual just walked outside, took a picture of a creek and didn't adjust any settings. Looks like that photo's gonna be overexposed. Auto comes back strong, walking outside and grabbing that same photo, no adjustments needed, properly exposed. Manual has recovered, he's adjusted and looking sexy. Snaps the photo and poof, proper exposure with a high f-stop so everything's in focus. The final challenge, night photography. Auto mode goes on defense because he knows this is his weakness. Manual mode, he's been practicing for this one. He sets up, he adjusts the settings, poof, poof, knocked it out of the park. And there we have it, folks. Manual mode is the clear winner when it comes to customization and the ability to use your camera to its fullest potential. Remember, you're smarter than your camera. You know what quality you want in your picture, so you know the settings to adjust to get that photo. Auto is great and can get some really good photos, but auto mode has one specific motive: exposure. The thing is, if you want bokeh, or if you want a long exposure, or if you want to catch high motion, your camera is not calculating that. Your camera in auto mode is calculating for exposure. It's deciding what camera settings do I want to use to get the best exposure for the scene that I see. That is all. And auto is good, don't get me wrong. The technology for auto mode has gotten so much better and you can get some great photos with auto mode. It's a perfect setting to use, let's say, if you don't want to think about settings. If you're on a family vacation or in a scenario where you just want to be able to take a good photo and know that in that trip, 90% of your photos are going to be pretty good and you're going to be happy with them, auto is a good mode for that. In the end, it's totally up to you on what you want to use, manual or auto. But I highly recommend, as you get used to your camera and get used to your settings, to use manual mode more and more often, because once you get really good at these settings, you'll be able to walk outside, adjust all your settings without even thinking about it because you know them so well. Some of the best photographers always use manual, and I know some really good photographers who use auto. But the thing is, manual mode allows you to shoot exactly what you want. You adjust the settings, you figure out what you want, and you make it happen. But it does take a little bit of practice. I'm not gonna tell you that it took me no time at all to learn all the settings. To be honest, I'm still practicing with them, and sometimes I do mess up. That's okay, that's all part of the process. But in manual mode, you have way more control. You know what you want, you're smarter than your camera, and that's all there is to it. If you practice with your settings and get really good at it, soon you'll be adjusting your settings just like auto and you'll be getting so much better photos than you could ever have dreamed of. At the end of the fight, both contenders fought their hardest. Each of them took quite a few licks. They're both still on their feet. This round is going to the judges, and that's you. So comment below, let me know which one you think won and why. And that's it for this video. See you in the next one. If you want to grade him, if Manuel has recovered, he's adjusted and looking sexy. Oh God, snap. Why can't I get it? Snaps the that delicious bokeh. Cranks that f-stop down, adjusts the ISO and the shutter for properly exposure, and right in the kisser. Good, all right.